Have you ever finished studying and thought, yeah, I know this, only then to sit down for a quiz or a test and realize you can't actually explain any of the material? Well, that's a real big problem in learning, but psychology has a helpful way to understand what's going on. One of the biggest problems students face in their studies is not just forgetting things. Sometimes the biggest problem is having false confidence. When you learn a concept, it may start to feel familiar because you've read it, highlighted it, seen it in your notes, or heard it in class. And because it feels familiar, you start to believe you understand it. But familiarity is not the same thing as actual understanding. This is where the illusion of explanatory depth comes in. The illusion of explanatory depth is when people think they understand how something works much better than they actually do. At first, one's confidence will feel real, but when they are asked to explain the ideas of what they have learned step by step, they begin to realize they are missing pieces in their understanding. Research in cognitive psychology has shown this pattern multiple times. In many studies, people will often rate their understanding of a given topic rather highly at first. But when someone has to give an in-depth explanation on what they have learned, that confidence drops rapidly. The person isn't lying about their confidence here. Most of the time, they really do feel like they do truly understand it. This matters greatly for students because a lot of studying can produce recognition without actual explanation. You may know what a term is, you may know what chapter it comes from or what it roughly means, but being able to recognize it in its basic form is not the same thing as being able to explain it clearly in your own words. That's why knowing about this illusion of explanatory depth is so important when it comes to the way we study, because we may stop too early in our studying efforts when we feel like we have an understanding of something when really it's just surface level. I mean, we'll look over flashcards over and over and over again, or reread our notes and textbook over and over and over again, and think we understand the concept, when in reality it's just the illusion taking hold, and there's very little we actually truly understand. That's why one of the best ways to study is trying to work around this illusion and around simple recognition. Instead of only rereading over and over and over again in rote memorization, try explaining a concept out loud in your own words. Try writing it in your own words. Try teaching it to a friend or family member. This is actually really useful because you know exactly where the holes in your information lie. The illusion of explanatory depth teaches us a humbling but helpful lesson. Feeling like you know something isn't always the same thing as actually knowing it. Real understanding shows itself when you can explain an idea clearly, not just when it's familiar. So the next time you study, don't just ask yourself, have I seen this before? Or do I recognize this? Ask yourself, can I actually explain this? Do I understand the concept? Because sometimes the moment you try to explain an idea is the moment you find out whether or not you truly actually know what you're talking about.